All right. I want to welcome everybody to our newest podcast. I have a special guest, Amyah Bray. Amyah, how you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Great. So we're looking forward to learning more about you. I want to thank you for coming on today and agreeing to this interview. I'm just going to be ask you some random questions in the beginning, and then we're going to delve into your basketball career, some of stuff about your family, and about your future goals. So, real simple. Where were you born?
I was born in Kimball, New Jersey.
Okay, Kimball, New Jersey. The funny thing is, I actually had to look that up, and I found out that Kimball, New Jersey is in Lakewood, so it's not too far from where you live now. How old are you?
I'm 16.
Okay, 16 years old. And what high school do you attend?
Manchester Township High School.
Manchester Township High School. That's fantastic. And when will you graduate?
2022.
So you're a sophomore right now?
Yes.
That's fantastic. Well, I want to learn a little bit more about your family. Can you tell me about your parents, your siblings, and stuff like that, please?
So I live with my mom and my dad, and then I live with three out of my five siblings. And we range from the age from 26 to 11. And we're really close and have like similar personalities, but we're also like really different. Like I could say, like my older sisters, like my older sister, she works in a hospital and is like a nurse, so she helps with that. And then my next two older sisters, they're into like the makeup and they cheered, and it's just very different for me because I'm the one that's more laid back into like basketball, like all those kind of sports. And then my brother, he's more into the music and he raps and he started recording at a studio, so he's big with music. And then my little sister, she's still young, so she's still trying to figure out what she wants to do in life and stuff like that. But my family, we're very hardworking people and we really like to push each other for the best. And yes, we have our moments, but we always know like we always have each other's back no matter what happens in life, and we always have somebody to fall back on.
That's pretty awesome. I really, respect a person that, values their family. And, I've gotten a little opportunity to, get to know your dad. And he just seems like a wonderful guy, and that's why I reached out to you because I wanted to learn more about you and your family. And this is just fun. Um, I know that you mentioned that in your responses to me that your family both played, your mom and dad both played basketball.
Yeah, they both played when they were younger, and then my dad continued to play into college. And all my siblings, we all played, like they all put us in basketball, and I was really the only one who really like enjoyed playing. So I feel like since they both played, like the love for the sport is in my blood, I like to say. So
That, that's pretty awesome. Well, let's get into a little bit about, where you're from. So you're from Manchester.
yes,
So tell us a little bit about the town.
Manchester is a pretty, I'll say, not big or small. It's like a medium
Okay.
town. We're very like everybody knows everybody, and we're a very like supportive town, especially with the sports and like the schools and stuff. Like we're always there as a community to help. And I would say it's a very nice place to live. There's three different like neighborhoods you can live in, like all different schools. But in this town, like no matter what happens, like we'll always have this town to fall back on, and everybody will always be there for each other.
That sounds like a nice place. How tall are you?
I'm 5'6" and a half.
And a half. Well, hopefully we keep on growing, right?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And what position do you play?
I It depends on the team.
Okay.
So for Manchester, for my high school team, I play between the power forward and the small forward.
Okay.
And then from my AAU team, I play between the point guard and the shooting guard.
Okay. So it really just depends on who's surrounding you and
Yeah.
what the other players are going to do. That's pretty awesome. I mean, looks like you're pretty diverse. I mean, from point guard all the way up, from 1 to 4. I mean, that's great. Great experience. You can handle the ball. You can shoot. You can drive. You can rebound. That's fantastic. So, if you could choose any word, one word to describe yourself, what would it be and why?
Determined. I would say determined ever since I was little. like if I wanted something or I wanted something done, no matter what, I always had the mindset to be determined to get it done. As doesn't matter how long it takes or what it takes, just to always get it done. So I always had that mindset since I was little, to always have that in the back of your head. Like if you want something, you have to work for it and be determined to get it.
That's fantastic. When did you start playing basketball?
Third grade.
Okay, so what got you started? Was it because of your older siblings?
No, it was because one day my dad and my mom asked me, "Do you want to try basketball for the first time?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. Dad played. Like I would like to try it." And as soon as I went to like the first practice and stepped on the court and learned the game, I fell in love with it.
That's pretty awesome. So did you play any other sports growing up?
Yes, I played soccer when I was younger before I tried out for basketball, and now I play lacrosse, and I used to run track and do cross country, and then the year coming up I'm gonna start volleyball.
That's awesome. Yeah, my daughter actually did volleyball, and it's funny because I just did an interview with Nia Scott, and she did volleyball both for the first time, and they both said that they had the most fun playing volleyball, and it really helped them with their jumping and their hand-eye coordination. So I really commend you for going out for it. What events did you do when you did track?
I did the hurdles, 400, and long jump.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. So, what do you remember about your earliest basketball experiences?
I remember I remember falling in love with the sport, and I was very like aggressive on the defensive end, so I was known as the defensive player. Like if they had one of the best players, I would be the one on them. So I remember because I wasn't really the type to score when I was younger.
Okay.
So I was known as like the defensive player. Like if you want somebody to get locked up, like you put her on her.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you can have a strong defense, you can build your game around that. So that's fantastic. Tell me, who are your role models from basketball
My
and
dad,
why?
my dad, because from his stories that he told me, really opens up like my mindset and pushes me, because I always had the mindset to be better, to be like him and to be better. And he just inspires me off and on the court as a person. So that helps a lot. Kobe Bryant, just the person he was and the player he was and the mindset he has inspired me to have that mindset. So like no matter what happens, you always have to work hard for what you want. And my last role model is my teammate, Kimara Reynolds. She was one of the people who made me fall in love with the sport, and she inspires me off and on the court as she's a leader and how people respect her. And it just like for her being so close to my age and what she has done with her career really inspires me to do not to do the same thing, but to be as good as her.
That's fantastic. And Kamari's like an unbelievable player and person as well.
Yeah.
She's going to be attending University of Pennsylvania in the fall, right?
Mhm.
That's fantastic. We'll have to actually maybe organize a group of players to go up and watch her, and we can cheer her on.
Yeah.
So let me ask you about your basketball career. Can you tell me a little bit about what basketball's been like for you in high school so far?
Basketball in high school has been very unforgettable for me. Last year, as a freshman, for my first high school season, we made history ever in the high school with winning the short conference tournament, and nobody believed we could, for getting as far as we did to go into the semifinals for the TOC. And I remember just the feelings of getting to those games and winning those games, and like the support and love we had for each other as a team and as a town was really unforgettable for me. And the team like really taught me a lot as a player. So it was just unforgettable, I could say.
That's amazing. And then your team continued the same success this year. And unfortunately, you guys didn't have a chance to finish. I think we got to the state finals, and right before the finals, everything was canceled and the season was ended, which was a shame, real shame.
Yeah.
Now, can you do me a favor? Tell me a little bit about any accolades that you've or awards that you've earned, in your basketball career so far?
I would say for middle school, my 8th grade year, I got MVP for the for basketball, and then I got female athlete of the year out of everybody in my class. And then this year, I got hoop group most improved, short conference honorable mention, and oh,
You have the Shore. Is it the Shore Sports Network here? You have something there too?
yeah, I think it was on honorable mention too.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So I want to kind of get into you personally as a player. So I want you to really think about this, but we're going to try and see if you can help us learn about you more. So what do you think were your strengths this season?
This season, I felt like my strengths were shooting and my effort on the defensive end.
Okay. So when you're on the defensive end, like what is your mission, or what do you try to put into your head in order to stop the other player? Do you have anything that you actually do or think about?
When if we're playing man to man, my mindset is always, "You're not gonna beat me. You're not gonna pass me." Like
Yeah, I mean
I make it a competition between me and that player. It's like you're not gonna beat me. You're not gonna pass me, no matter what you do.
that's just fantastic. What do you think are your weaknesses this year?
My weaknesses was probably my left hand. Have to work on that. And I think sometimes I got in my head a lot if I wasn't doing too good. So I have to work on not bringing myself down, especially during big games.
Well, I mean, it sounds like you've been pretty honest so far, and that just seems like something that'll happen as you mature as a player. So, I mean, it sounds like you've had a really successful career up to date, and I know that you've been training and working hard from talking to your dad in the off season. So that's just fantastic. We'll get into that a little bit more too. So, what are some personal goals? Things that you're going to work on during the off season.
Personal goals is one is I want to get my left hand just as good as my right hand. And I want to work on a lot of different moves that I can do to drive to the basket more. And I want to improve I truly want to get into better shape. Like I'm in good shape, but I want to get into better shape where I can play full games without needing a break at all.
That sounds amazing. So I mean, right now you have all the time in your world. All the time in the world. So I know working on your handles a lot with dribbling. I know you've been working on your shooting. So it's just a matter of keep on doing that, and then maybe do your running and your fitness regimen, and you'll be in great shape.
Yeah.
So what do you think is your most memorable basketball moment for this high school season?
For this high school season, I think was playing at Monmouth County for the short conference championship game as a starter. And
Can you talk a little bit about that game?
that game was very intense. And I remember halftime when me and my team got together and we just looked at each other and was like, this is our game. We have to take it no matter what. And I just remember just thinking to myself, like, it's time, it's all or nothing. This is the one game that matters the most to me. And I remember just trying to put my all into it.
Wow, that just sounds amazing. Now, who did you play in that game?
SJV.
Wow. So was the place crowded?
Yeah, it was packed with
How was the crowd?
the crowd had really good energy for both teams, and I felt like we fed off the energy, which made it a really good game. Like,
That sounds exciting. I mean, you can't replicate that, in practice or in your backyard. I mean, you can only, experience that by actually being in the moment. So that's just fantastic. So what's your most memorable moment for your high school career, overall?
last year, winning the short conference championship for the first time in Manchester school history.
That's just awesome. That's really cool. So, you said you're planning to play volleyball, and do you play any other sports right now for high school?
I play lacrosse.
So, how did you get into lacrosse?
My basketball teammates played lacrosse and they're like really good at it. And they were like, you should come. It helps you with basketball. Like the sports are really related to each other. And I was like, well, if it's related to basketball, I shouldn't be too bad at it. So then I went and I played and I actually loved it and I had fun with it.
That sounds great. I mean, it just gives you another opportunity to exercise, stay in shape. Cross training, everybody, says is the best thing for you. You're using different muscles. I just think that's fantastic. So let's talk a little bit about college. So what do you want to study when you go on to college?
I want to be a math teacher. So I'll say mathematics and education.
Okay. So what made you decide that you wanted to be a teacher, and then why did you pick math?
What made me decide to be a teacher is helping my little sister when she needed help with homework and with my sister's co-workers daughters and stuff. It just made me like feel good, like I'm helping these people to like get a good grade or something.
That's
Like,
fantastic.
yeah.
So when you're studying education, I mean, do you have a certain age group that you want to work with? Do you want to work with like little kids, like middle school kids or high school kids? Have you decided that?
I was picking between 8th grade and like college. It's a really
Okay.
big gap, but I don't know. I just like those two age groups. So,
Okay, that's pretty cool. Let me ask you: are you interested in playing basketball in college?
yes, I am.
Okay, so if you were to choose a college, I know that you're, probably researching colleges now, reaching out to coaches, sending them your highlight tapes and things like that. What are you looking for in a college?
I'm looking for in a college a very good support team, like a support system, and with that school, the team and the coaches, because I'm very big on support and I'm used to support with like my family, my teammates, and my town that I live in. Um, I want it to be like a good fit for me. Like I feel like I'm at home when I'm there. It doesn't just feel like, oh, I'm just going to school. It truly feels like I'm home. And also a very good education. Like it has very good education for me because I'm big on
That's
my education.
that's fantastic. So, what kind of student are you?
I'm a pretty good student. I get A's and B's. I'm in honors classes and I feel like I'm a good student. I raise my hand in class. Like I like having conversations with my teachers and have a relationship with my teachers because I feel like if you have a relationship with your teachers, you just like learn better.
That's great. So, do you have any other hobbies? I know you play basketball, but what else do you do besides basketball?
I cook and I dance.
Okay, now what kind of cooking do? Do you bake or you what do you do?
I do. I cook and I bake. I like baking more. I just I got into baking when I was little with my mom, and I just enjoyed it ever since. And
Okay,
like
so let me ask you this: for baking, what would you say was your best dish that you make? Your best like dessert?
I made a homemade like double chocolate chip cake before, and I really like chocolate, so I thought it was my best thing I ever made.
That just sounds awesome. That really sounds amazing. Now, did you put icing on it? Did you frost it? Or what'd you do?
Yep, I put icing on it and I like decorated it.
Wow. So now it says you dance. Now, what kind of dance are we talking about?
I praise dance for my church a lot. Like
Okay.
a lot of people say that's like my calling in life. And I dance like it would say like hip hop and like just I do I dance like anything. Like if a song comes on, I'll just start dancing to it. It doesn't matter what it is.
That's pretty cool. I mean, we're getting to the tail end of our interview, so I want to ask you maybe like one or two more questions, and we'll get ready to wrap up. One of the last questions I want to ask you is, is there anything else you want to add, to the conversation, to the interview, that you want people to know about you as a person? Like, what do you want to tell future coaches?
I would tell future coaches is that push me to my limit, even past my limit. because I'm the type to like work no matter what. And I would also say to like the people out there, if you think you're like struggling and colleges are not looking at you or getting offers, just keep doing what you're doing and keep working as hard as you can because your time will come. It just takes time, and God always has a plan for you. It just takes time and for your time to come. So don't ever give up or ever think I'm not good enough, I'm not this, I'm not that. Just keep putting the work in and do what you have to do and your time will eventually come.
Wow, I just love it, man. I love that positive mindset. I love that, you want to be pushed to your limits, that you want, to, just put yourself out there and give your all for the team, which is like unbelievable. And I love the fact too that you have a strong faith, and I can tell that about you. From talking to you earlier, from interacting with your dad, and you have a strong sense of family too, and these are all important things. And I know they're going to weigh in when you decide, what school is going to be the best for you. So I just
Yeah.
want to say a couple things. First of all, I want to say, thank you so much,
Thank
and
you.
I want to congratulate you on having a wonderful season for your team. Actually, you guys played right after my daughter's team played. In the state semifinals. So I did get a chance to watch you guys a little bit, and our teams did scrimmage each other in the preseason. The other thing I want to say is, man, for any coach that's out there, this kid, she's a winner. I just love her energy. I love her excitement. I just love her faith and her just sense of family. And I hope that you take the time to get to know her because she's a great kid. So I just want to say thank you and say goodbye, Maya.
Thank you.